Today we're going to look at a game that's written by a student in one of my programming classes at Young Scholars Institute. You can see that the game is on the right and that the code is on the left here. We'll take a look at the code in just a little bit. But first, let's try out the game. So the game here, it's a 4-player game, and there's 4 different keys, 4 sets of keys on the keyboard that you can use. So basically, you can move the characters around, basically use WASD, JIKL, the arrow keys, and the numpad. So you can see that as you do each one, you basically can hit the up button, and it basically launches you up, and then you'll slowly fall down. And the game is to try to actually land onto the white spot. So if you do, that you'll actually get a point. You can see red goes up to 3, and so basically it's competing. Now the thing you'll notice is you can't go underneath it. You actually have to come from the top, and then it's a kind of race to see who can actually fall on it. And it's kind of fun game because it's hard to get your dropping exactly right, because you need to be able to go above it but then also drop down, and so you can basically compete against somebody else at the same time for who drops first. All right, so let's take a look at the code. So here we basically have some of the variables for where they're keeping track of the white bar, and then we have the variables for the characters, and then actually the variables for the speed of the character, so how fast the character is changing in the x-axis and the y-axis. And then we have some of the other characters here, basically the same things, and then we have 4 variables for the score of each component. Basically a standard setup, we do 1,000 by 1,000. Then we are drawing, and this is our draw routine. So we basically get rid of the background, and then we draw the score in each person's color. Then we actually draw the characters, and we also don't see it in there, but I'm sure we actually draw the white rectangle somewhere. Maybe it'll come up later. So then here we have some if statements, which are basically these if statements are checking to see if your player is hitting the white from underneath, so that it actually won't be able to hit it that direction. So we have the same one for each character. And then this is where we actually are hitting the white bar and dropping onto it. And if you do, it moves the bar to a random spot and then gives that person a score. So you can see that is done once for each player. And then here we actually are basically adding to each of the variables what their delta is. And then here we're actually drawing the white rectangle. And then this adds gravity, and so that you'll actually fall. And then this is actually setting the max gravity. So basically 10 is the max gravity you can have. And then we have a bunch that actually keep the characters on the screen. So this keeps the character if they're too far to the right. This is if they're too far to the left. And this is if they're too far to the bottom, then they'll stay on the screen. And then here's all our key presses for how we actually move stuff. So just one example for the A key. If you press the A, you want to go left, so it's doing delta x minus 5, which takes us to the left. If you press the D, basically delta x dx is going plus 5, which takes it to the right. Same for all the other keys. And then key released. This is just a way, so when you release the key, if it actually was moving left, will actually stop you. And in this case, this is actually what starts the player jumping up. So it gives it a -8 for its movement going up. And we just do that same for all the other players. And that's the entire game. So it's a very simple game, but pretty fun to play. And if you can get 4 players on it, it'll be a fun little game. That's it. Hope you enjoy it.